Hey, it's Joy. Ever since I test drove a refreshed Model X with a Yoke steering wheel several months ago, I've been wanting to have a Yoke for my Tesla. I know I've been bitten by the Yoke bug. I recently found out that my friends over at TesPlus, they have this gorgeous white Yoke steering wheel that you can install and convert for your Model 3 and Model Y. So guess what? I am on my way down there right now to get this Yoke steering wheel installed. So let's see what the installation process is like and what my new Yoke will look like. So I'm over at TesPlus and I picked out my Yoke. So the one that I really loved that I saw on their website is this white one. Has no carbon fiber. Sorry, I'm a girl. I'm not very intrigued by carbon fiber, but this is gorgeous. I think this is PU leather, or they call the nappa leather. And I just spoke with the owner, Chris, and he told me actually these are original Tesla steering wheel. There's even the Tesla logo on here. And what they did was they bought all these old ones and they reshaped them and made them into the Yoke steering wheel. So initially I was a little bit worried that this is not original parts and there's some risk in failure, but I found out that it's not. And even these are original modules from Tesla. There's like a serial number or the code. So I feel very confident in replacing my 2018 steering wheel with this Yoke steering wheel. And I also found out that the airbag, what they do pretty much is take out the cab and then remove my old steering wheel, put this new one in, put the airbag in as is, they're not touching it, and then put the cap back on. So supposedly it's a 20-minute process. And I found out that, well, Chris told me that the most time-consuming part or the more difficult part is getting this part. So another thing I was told is that the scroll wheel buttons, because these are actually newer than my 2018 Model 3. So there may be a chance that these new ones won't work with my older car model or different year. So what they can do also is to remove my original one and then put my original one in here so that all the functions of the scroll wheels will continue to work. So yeah, I'm super excited, and the technicians are ready to go, and let's get these changed out. Hi, so this is Brian. This is my technician. He's gonna be swapping out the steering wheel for me.
So the main things that you're going to be needing is something to pry these open with. You're going to notice that there's going to be two holes right here on the underside of the steering wheel. Obviously I'm showing you here on the aftermarket steering wheel, but the same holes will be on your OEM. And basically you're going to push these inwards and you're going to notice a pin that sits right here. Usually the pin is in here. Obviously we're going to have to transfer from the OEM, but basically you're going to be pushing it to unlock your airbag. And then from there you'll be able to remove, and it will expose the main bolt to remove it. Other tools you'll be using is a T6 and also a T10. These are just so you can remove the scroll wheels itself and be able to swap them out, as well as this Phillips screw right here to remove these bolts to actually remove the casing. And on your OEM one, it is a T25. So I just use a ratchet. You can use a screw T25 as well, and those will be the mounting bolts for your OEM steering wheel, and from there you'll be able to remove the casing as well. For the deadbolt that's on this steering wheel, I do recommend using a breaker bar, or if you do have the arm strength, you can use a regular ratchet as well. And then from there you would be using, I think this is a T50. Yeah, it's a T50. So that's the one you'd be using right there.
All right, so now we're in the car and I see that you put my car in service mode.
Yes. So service mode, as well as I would recommend that you go to your vehicle and then go to safety and actually shut it down. You want to do this just because you don't want your airbag to actually deploy on you whenever you're taking this off. No one would really appreciate getting punched in the face 50 miles per hour.
No.
So yeah, just do that for safety reasons. Nothing bad usually happens, but you know, safety precautions always. Like I said, like I mentioned earlier, with these, you're gonna be able to push in. You're gonna feel for it a little bit. There's gonna be a little prong there that allows it to sink, and then you're gonna hear it kind of just click right there. And then just keep going for it until it gives.
Oh, I see it. It's popped out.
It pops out. So basically from there, that allows you to actually remove your airbag, and then you'll see everything exposed. From there, you're gonna be removing your airbag plug right here. And this is that main portion where once you remove this portion, you'll be good to go. If your car turns on, you'll be fine. Nothing's gonna pop.
So it was this connector right there.
Yep, that connector.
Okay.
And that you can put to the side as so. And then let me grab the other tools to continue.
So this is what my steering wheel looks like on the inside with the airbag. Very cool. You don't get to see this every day. Oh, this came back on.
Yeah, but it's perfectly fine since the airbags are removed.
Okay.
Yep, so you're perfectly fine there. Like I said here, this is where a breaker bar really helps because they secure this on very strong. You're gonna watch out for your hands a little bit.
Yes.
There. Okay, watch out. God damn.
So you do need some muscle for this.
Yeah. Especially since your car's a little older. It's
probably rusty.
Yeah, it's been in there for a little while. So let me just turn this down. 1 second, I'm gonna grab one of the guys.
Okay.
That's a tough one.
Yeah.
It's old, that's why it's rusty.
Yeah. It's settled in.
Yes.
It broke itself in, that's for sure. There you go. And then from there, once that's on, you're fine. And then, before you remove anything, always take off this bolt right here, this plug right here. And then when you're removing the steering wheel as well, I always recommend leaving the bolt on.
Okay.
You'll see why in a second. Okay, let me get this off first. So the main reason why I say leave the bolt on is because whenever you pull the steering wheel towards yourself, especially with the older vehicle, since you have something from 2018, it usually locks itself in there very strong. If you didn't have the bolt there, if you swing it towards yourself, I already have to pull it strong.
Yeah.
Right here. Imagine that without the bolt there.
Oh,
you would just hit yourself in the face.
That's true.
Yeah. So.
And I also just noticed this message here. So
Yeah.
yeah,
that's
the
because
car
you unplugged.
detects. That's right. All the sensors are working.
Yep.
Ooh.
Yeah. And that, obviously, I already broke it a bit right there too, and that's when that happened. Imagine if I didn't.
Yeah.
It makes a big difference.
Very
Okay,
cool.
and then everything else will be on the outside until.
So that's the old one, right?
Yep.
I can keep.
Yep. But I'm gonna switch out plugs.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, I have to
That's
switch
right.
everything
Okay.
out. Yep. All right, to continue everything, obviously we're outside now. To remove this black portion, which clips in your air horn right here, you're just gonna get something on maybe a small flathead, and there's little clips right here that lock it in from each side, and basically you can just slide it out and it'll move outwards. Nothing really difficult. It's just plastic, so don't worry about being too aggressive or anything like that. And right there, now it's nice and loose, and you can actually reach the bolts that allow you to pull the trim piece off. So from there, that's that T25 that I mentioned earlier. And it'll come right off here. One. Another one right here. So here.
By the way, doing this doesn't void the warranty, correct?
Yeah, it shouldn't void the warranty whatsoever.
Yeah, I was told that because this is not a, what they call it, destructive parts replacement or something like that, that it does not void the warranty.
Yeah,
because
so
we can always put this back on.
Correct. The only thing that I would be careful of is if you do have to go in for any type of steering wheel services or anything like that, and you do have the aftermarket one put on,
yeah,
they obviously will not touch it simply because they don't want to be liable in any type of way.
Yeah.
But in that moment, obviously you would just switch it back to the OEM, and then you can go in for service or whatever callback or recall that they have for you. So from there, all the bolts are off. So to remove the trim, I usually always like to start from the top. You can actually dig your fingers a little bit into here, and then that will allow you to move it outwards like so, and just kind of work your way around with everything, and then everything will kind of come out once together. One right there, one right there, and then the bottom one just kind of pry open a little bit right here, and it'll give with you.
Cool. So if I remember correctly, you actually worked at Tesla, right?
No, actually I wasn't the one.
Okay.
There'll be the other two technicians.
Oh, okay, yeah. Okay. But you're like very good.
No worries.
You know the parts inside and out.
So as well as this, always be careful with this portion. Like I said earlier, this is the portion that allowed you to push through like so, and allow the air horn to come off like this. So this is what actually took place.
I see.
And then obviously both sides will be taking place. So what you're gonna do is actually transfer this over to your
the new one.
Correct.
So the horn will work.
So the horn actually locks in basically.
Okay.
Because you don't want that to not be able to.
Yeah, I do want to be able to still honk at somebody when they're acting crazy. Here in LA.
You gotta love it, right? That's why we live here.
Yep.
Okay, there we go. So that already is right back into place.
Awesome.
Really easy. And then from here, this is that portion where you're just gonna transfer all of this black plastic right here. It's all on one wire. So what I recommend is just actually unbolting the scroll wheels and unbolting the heating function portion right here, and then it'll allow it to transfer.
Okay.
So I'm just gonna flip this over because it's not necessary anymore. And let's get
I can take this away.
Yep, that's all yours now. Okay, so this one right here. And then this one right here is just the T6 that I mentioned earlier, and it's just these little bolts right here. One right here, right there, if it comes with me in my magnet, and then one right here. Very simple, very easy, nothing too difficult. Now to get it off, it still has a few clips in there. So the easy way to do it is, like I said, flathead, and there's gonna be that one clip right here, and you're gonna be able to just kind of pry it a little bit, and it'll let it give outwards. And from there, you'll be able to move out. Technically, if you want to be safe, there is two clips over here as well. However, if you just remove the one and kind of pry back a little bit, it lets these move out.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. Sometimes this falls off whenever you take it off. It's completely fine. Just put it back into place.
Okay.
And then just do the same thing on the other side. Let's see here. And like I said again, just get that clip in there right about there. Here, I'll get you a better angle right there. And then yeah, you'll be able to pry back, and then kind of like how you do crawfish, just pry back the tail. There you go, and it comes right out.
Cool.
And then just make sure you hold on to the bolts and everything, just in case you ever have to go back to OEM.
Right.
So that basically has everything off right here. The only thing we have left is this portion, which is that T10 that I had earlier, which will sink into these bolts, just these two mounting bolts right here, and it comes right off. Let's see here, and then you lift up and pull back, and technically that means that everything is already off and you're good to go. Just kind of finesse it out, and then here you go. That's everything that you're gonna be transferring over. Beautiful. So I do say that you do have to repeat a portion of the process on this side, just because you got to get everything off to put it onto your new trim, basically. Let's see here. We'll get over here for you. So For your old steering wheel in the 2018, it doesn't have the heating function.
Right.
So usually there is a wire right here that allows you to plug in the heating function. The steering wheel does have heating function capabilities for the individuals that are interested in it. However, obviously for yours, you don't have that plug-in, so I would just probably tuck it away.
Sure.
But if there is one, you will see it literally right here, and it comes out right here with the harness, and you'll be able to plug it in. It's a plug and play.
Okay.
Yep. So for customers that do end up picking that out. Let's see here.
So right now you're removing that the scroll wheel modules, right?
Yeah, so basically the whole trim itself, and then the main purpose of it is to transfer all this wiring over, and also the OEM scroll.
Okay.
So that way everything just is completely compatible. There's no issues for you whatsoever when you know, your computer reads it.
Yeah.
Get it all out. There you go. Voila. And then basically you can get the little inside look of the steering wheel stuff right here.
It's very cool. It's very sturdy. Like, it has very good weight.
That's what my mother said about me when I was born.
So basically what we're doing is we're just taking everything out, taking the important parts apart or out, the modules, and then reassembling everything onto the new steering wheel. Correct. And then we put this back in.
I do admit it does look very intimidating when you first look at it, but once you get the ball rolling, everything is very plug and play, and kind of simplifies as it goes along. Let's see here. Come on. No? From here. Don't worry. There you go. Same thing again, the little clip that sinks in, don't forget that. This one you don't have to worry that much because obviously you're not going to use it, but same. You sell that on eBay if you want. There you go. And then from here, this is that portion where we start transferring the OEM over.
Okay.
Same type of process that you took off, just kind of mirror it. I would usually just clip in the scroll wheels first so they're locked into place, and then from there it allows you to move forward with kind of positioning the wires back into place as well. So you just kind of get to the front right here, and then from there, this portion, there's a little bit of a divot right here, and then you're just going to allow it to sink in, and then that's where you'll start to be able to reach the mounting points.
Okay.
Quite simple. There you go.
Yeah, it does look complicated for me. That's why I'm having you guys install it for me instead of me trying to figure this out myself.
Hey, it's a part of the fun, isn't it?
Yeah, that's true. So if there are DIYers out there, you like to tinker with stuff, this may be a fun project for you to do.
Exactly. It's always a good time. So make sure that sinks in. I think these got crossed. Let's see here. There you go. Now it's sitting in the way I want it to. There you go. And that's where your scroll wheel will be. Just then you have to lock it all the way in for this side.
Okay, so apparently my old dinosaur 2018 modules, they don't fit well into the new one, the newer one.
So
So
all you have to do to swap it is simply undo this plug right here.
okay.
and then from there just use the aftermarket ones and you'll be good to go. So if you do run into any issues, contact TesPlus.
Okay.
And then we'll be able to help you out with any of
Thank
that.
you.
But see how it just locks right in.
Well, this is original Tesla part anyway, right?
Correct.
Yeah.
Yes. So there shouldn't be issues, but you know, things
Who
happen.
knows? Because mine, again, it's a first production dinosaur Model 3.
Understood. So, you know, those things happen, and obviously we have customer support for that.
Good.
So that one already locks in, and then from there you can just plug in this one as well. And then all you gotta do is tighten those bolts down as well as these mounting bolts, and you're good to go.
Okay.
I would recommend, if you're buying tools for this, buy things that are magnetized for these tiny little bolts.
Oh yeah, that's right. So you don't lose them, or it's
Yeah.
hard to.
Just try to fit it into the housing.
Yes.
So if you're doing it, do it this way. Let's see.
You're like a surgeon.
Try my best. Let's see here. So for this bolt right here, the OEM bolt is a little bit longer than what actually the housing of it allows it to sit. However, there is no issues. As long as you just go as far as you can, it will sit no matter what. So don't try to over torque it and then end up caving the
Breaking
hole.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you don't have to worry about it. If it does sit a little high, nothing will happen.
Okay. Just make sure it's tight.
Exactly.
That's it.
Let's see here. And voila, you're ready to go.
Awesome.
So whenever putting these back on, I do recommend just hitting it from the bottom first and then going from the top. The main reason why is there's these two little holes right here that sink into this portion right here. You're gonna see those two little holes as well.
Okay.
So just make sure it sinks in there first, so it allows it to divot. And then from there, go to the top. And then you're gonna notice that there's little teeth right here, 1, 2, and 3. That will also go into 1, 2, and 3. So just keep those things in mind. Take your time. Nothing's bad's gonna happen to you. And then voila, you're pretty much in.
Wow.
And then the only thing you have left is the mounting bolts, which is 1, 2, 3, and 4, and then clipping these in.
Okay.
And you're ready to go.
Awesome.
So 4 bolts. I do recommend to put these bolts on before you clip the plastic, just so you have the play of moving everything around to reach it. If you do clip it in, now the harness is actually tight and in there, so you won't be able to press around to move it to the actual bolts.
Okay.
So small little things that help you move along a little quicker. One second. I gotta let this side sink in a bit more. So grabs, there you go. Top one for this one over here in the top left, right there, right there. And then that one's the last one right there. Okay, and then from there, all you gotta do is lock in the plastic little areas right there. So just kind of let it sit over real quick, and then you'll be able to just push it in. And then same right here. Make sure you hear 2 clicks. So 1 and 2. Right here as well. 2.
Okay.
And then just to be sure, you can always just check from the back and see if it's sunk in all the way and hit into those divots.
Okay.
Yep. And then this thing's ready to go. All right, so we're gonna put it in. There is a little divot right here for dead center. That divot is actually inside of right here too. If you see the teeth, there's a nice little divot right there that allows you to go dead center. So no matter what, you don't have to worry about leaving your steering wheel straight. I do recommend leaving it straight just to make it easier for yourself, but there's no way that you're gonna end up ruining the alignment of your steering wheel. If it is a little tight, you can always just kind of bat it down a little bit. Or if you feel like you can't do that very well, you can actually end up using the bolt while you tighten to allow it to sink in fully. So it's just allowed to go in further enough where you can get like 2 to 3 teeth in, and then that way you'll be able to sink it the rest of the way in. And then like that. And then from there you should be able to tighten. For that, torque specs, I would recommend 25 to 30 foot-pounds. That's all you will actually need to be able to tighten it all the way. But obviously, I think the official torque is 28 foot-pounds. Okay. I wouldn't recommend going further than that, because if you do end up having to remove it, then you're gonna have a much harder time taking it off. There we go. Lock my foot a little bit. Okay, good to go. Make sure to plug this bad boy in like so. Back to go, and then same thing with your airbag. And then you see how that make the horn still works.
Nice.
So everything's functional. And then we can do right here for the airbag. And then from there, everything will click in. You'll hear one from the top, one for the left, and then one for the bottom. And then right there, you see the horn still works as intended.
Yes.
And everything's ready to go. So,
my new Yoke.
And then you see here, volume still works. Autopilot, all those good settings for each side of the scroll wheel still works. So you're good to go.
Yay. Gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous. Thank you so much, Brian.
No worries.
I have been driving for an hour immediately after my new Yoke installation, and I absolutely love it. I love it that I have a much better view in front of me, and it didn't take me too long to get used to it. There were a couple of times when I tried to do turns, and it was just muscle memory and the reflex that I tried to grab the missing part. But I quickly adapted to it, and now I love the Yoke. So TesPlus did an amazing job, so professional. They made sure that my horn was working. They made sure that both of the scroll wheels are working, and by the way, they're working flawlessly. Just great service all around, and the quality of the steering wheel is amazing. They have a whole bunch of different variations. Make sure you go to their website, which I'm linking in this video and also in the description, to get your own Yoke. Thanks so much for watching. I will see you in the next one, and God bless.